Good morning, UPB, February 20th, it's a Thursday, and all I got to say to you is, what's up? Now, that's all I think about with Facebook. They announced an acquisition of WhatsApp, an app that I've never used before in my entire life. But apparently they're willing to pay something like $42 per user for. Pretty amazing, isn't it? 16 billion, that's billion, for a company that really serves no purpose in this world, in my opinion. They don't feed the starving. They don't create any kind of service or product that's beneficial to the world. But hey, you know, if people, I don't know, what does it do? It's a texting app. I don't know. Apparently it's worth something. $16 billion for WhatsApp. That's all I can think about is those old Budweiser commercials when I hear the name. So anyway, Facebook, I hope it recovers some of its losses here early in the session. I'll be buying puts for next week. I think it's headed back under $60. I'll get into that in a second. But I want to look at the S&P 500 futures. We had double top, just about a double top, a little lower than the highs, the all-time highs that we hit. But you can see, and to me, almost possible cup and handle. Although I'd like to see the cup and handle in the midst of an upswing. We've been consolidating really since the start of the year, the pullback, the recovery. And then we almost double top, pulled back here. And then we had the Chinese PMI come out at right here. This is the Chinese PMI, and we've recovered really. We're almost flat. Pretty amazing. This is the close of the market right about here. So we're almost flat. The nice recovery. I think we're going to hit new all-time highs by the end of the week, which should be today, tomorrow. So in the next 2 days. I think stocks remain the place to be. Some of the sell-off from the highs here were attributed to the IMF come out and saying, oh, inflation's low over in good. Low inflation's good news. In a way, because central banks are going to continue printing and artificially manipulating asset prices higher. If inflation starts to kick up, then we've got a different problem. Ooh, problem. So anyway, look at Facebook. I'm just going to pull up a longer-term chart. I'm looking for the stock to pull back, possibly to this level at 46. It's going to take some time. But you can see this is formally support here. So I'll be looking for Facebook short-term puts. Look for a move under 60 next week. We'll see if we can get a nice price on those at the open this morning. We have earnings. I'll go over some earnings, and then I'll go where I think the market's headed over the short term. We have earnings this morning from New Skin. Nuss. This is a stock that I called out at the highs here at 139. You can check stock tweets to the blog at optionmillionaires.com. I called for a big pullback. These puts, the 130 puts were 60 cents. They ultimately ended up being over $60. Pretty amazing move, right? To buy something for 60 cents, and a couple days later it's worth $60. That's what stock options is all about. Anyway, New Skin reports earnings before the bell. HLF had an initial positive reaction to their earnings, but then fell almost 4% yesterday. So New Skin, I don't know. I see it moving higher here. We're at support. We're cupping here, maybe the $90 level over the next couple days, but it's not something you're going to trade because the recent volatility has amped up option prices. Something you just want to sit back and watch. Grab some popcorn, big glass of soda. Let's move on to another earnings report. We have WWE. This is this morning. Obviously, if you're not in these trades, this is cupping nicely. We'll see where it goes. Earnings before the bell this morning. WLT, I was looking to get these calls. I saw U.S. Steel declining. I put a bid in. We rallied initially at the start of the day yesterday for WLT, and I'll just show you the chart real quick. All right, you can see this rally initially, and then we pulled back to almost even. So I'm glad I didn't make the move, but we'll see where this stock heads. Heavily shorted stock. Walmart reports before the bell. Now, from a long-term perspective, I'm almost looking at a megaphone top. There it is. Here's the megaphone. Hello! So we'll see what happens here with 70, 80. We'll see if we stay in this top. Eventually, going to pull back. Let's move to after the bell. We have AGU, which we'll see. Right at support. Right at support. We could break through that. We had CF come out with earnings. Yesterday was up 5-6%. 5-6% would imply a $4 move. Get us to over the $90. And then from AGU, we go to Groupon, which reports earnings right at support. Let me just pull in. It obviously hasn't been trading for 10 years. I have a 10-year chart up. That's a little better. Almost piercing through this long-term trend line We have Hewlett-Packard, which has been on the mend. Analysts have been coming out very bullish. And if you look from a longer-term perspective on this chart, very bullish. We broke out of resistance here. Looks like we're going to head out. I hate this stock. Same with Garmin. Let's talk about Garmin real quick because I brought this up in a week ahead at optionmillionaires.com. This beautiful bull flag. Beautiful bull flag, and look at that spike. I actually alerted and had on the watch list 2 days ago the $47 calls. Talked about them Monday night at the live webinar. I said I hate this stock. When I think of Garmin, I think about GPS products, and I say GPS is dead because everybody uses their phone and uses GPS for free using Google Maps or whatever other technology they have. They don't need to have a Garmin product for $300 in their car. They use their phone. Garmin should be dead because what they're branching out, and that's what the chart is telling you. That's what investors were telling, traders were telling you. As it was consolidating here in this bull flag, we broke to the upside. Those $47 calls at $1, I got some at 80 cents, ended up going to $5.50 yesterday. It's a really sharp move, so nice. Again, charts are, some people are like, oh, charts are nothing and meaningless, but to me, that's what got me in this trade. This is what we were looking at when we got into this trade. Is what everybody made 300-400% on who bought the options based upon what was on the watch list. I sent a private tweet out. I had speaking at the Walmart megaphone, I was, oh, but anyway, Garmin. So it's a nice trade. And then also yesterday, FCX in the private Twitter account, I talked about FCX in the Monday night week ahead, and you can see it's hitting resistance. And so yesterday at about 2 p.m., I talked about getting into right about here. I said get into the 33. I got into the 33.50 puts. Put it on private Twitter at 14 cents. They close at 44 cents. They are 33 cents in the money, intrinsic value, and we'll see. Gold's down a little bit here, so we'll see if we get a further. But you can see it's kind of like a topping pattern here. Just tried to break out. Couldn't. Back here at support, about the 33.10. You can draw a line across there. So we'll see if we break through that. Further weaknesses ahead. So yeah, we have earnings after the bell. We have Hewlett-Packard. How about Marvell? I got some Marvell calls yesterday. You can see it's consolidating here after a spike up from the $15 level. Consolidation. Analysts came out late in the day yesterday, downgraded the stock to a hold, I believe. I'm looking from a long-term perspective. I think the stock's ready to make its next move to the upside over 16 bucks. I got the 1550s for, gosh, what was it, 58 cents? I don't remember exactly the price. I have to go back and look. But to me, I'm looking for a breakout to new highs here, 52-week highs. And you can see this is the stock was trading over 20 bucks. Hit support is broken out of a nice wedge. Let's look at this wedge. Ooh, nice wedgie. And to me, looks like it's going to continue up. Ultimately hit this $20 level and beyond. That's Marvell. We have Priceline, Hewlett-Packard, Intuit, all after the bell today. Let's look at some stocks, some charts. TLT. Yeah, you know me. TLT with the Chinese PMI recovered a lot of its losses, down over 0.4% yesterday. To me, it looks like this just wants to plunge lower. Again, we're waiting. It's a waiting game. Bonds are boring. Stocks are fun. So it's going to be a little bit before we see that plunge to the downside, which would imply higher interest rates, a stronger dollar. We're getting a stronger dollar this morning. The dollar's up 3.4% as the Aussie is getting pummeled on the Chinese PMI data. I am into TLT 106 puts. I'm into 106.50 puts. And I'm going to move out to next week because I think TLT at some point is going to come to papa. I know a lot of analysts and even I think it was Bank of America Merrill Lynch was saying, hey, buy stocks and bonds. Yeah, that makes sense. And that's what we were seeing over the last couple of weeks. Stocks, bonds, oil, gold. Everything was going up. But we'll see. At some point, that's going to break because you just can't buy everything. You got to pick one or the other. I don't know. Who cares? Tesla. Tesla reported earnings last night after the bell. And you can see just a modest spike to the upside. Hit 224.88 record highs. And we're looking at the stock with record short interest, and shorts continue to pile into this trade. I don't know why. I mean, if you look at a chart that's straight, anybody, whatever. I'm not going to give a lesson on what to short and what not to short. But you see we're at 212.5 here. I think this is going to be a great buy the dip. I talked about this in the chat room last night after earnings. I was hoping for a pullback. We get to 210. I'd love to be a buyer here, right there. 220 calls. 220, because I think we're going to ramp higher. A lot of people are calling for a pullback. I think there's just too many shorts in this trade. And as we continue to melt higher for Tesla, stock's going to ramp higher and squeeze the shorts. I brought this up at the blog at optionmillionaires.com in February when it was at 115. You can watch some of my videos. I said it was going to be over $200 this year when it was at 115. And there we go. 224. And I think ultimately it's going to hit the 250, then 300, then 350. Bank of America Merrill Lynch has a $40 price target on the stock. They'll get that after Tesla does a 10-for-1 forward split. So we did FCX, Facebook, Marvell. How about BTH? BTH, I'm just going to bring up in the charting platform here. Love this stock is double bottomed here, and you look from a short-term perspective, it's a 10-year monthly. Let me just pull in a little closer. And you see stock is put in a nice double bottom. I'm looking for a move to this 1250 level. I alerted the March $10 calls at 90 cents yesterday. I think those are going to be 300% to the upside over the next couple weeks. It might take a little time, but you can see the volume here starting to break out a little bit. Not the same volume we had in September. We're getting there. And I think ultimately we're going to make that move up to 1250. There's almost 60% of the float short in the stock. It's pretty amazing. 5.5 million shares. There's a stock that does 100K volume on a happy day. Normally it does about 70 or 80K. So just imagine trying to cover actually, the short interest is almost 40 days to cover that short interest. Just on covering the shorts alone. That doesn't take into account people just going out and say, hey, let me buy BTH today. Big Lots. Big Lots was upgraded 2 days ago. You can see it's trying to get back up to this former support line. We need to break through it. I think it's going to head to 30, then 32. Turnaround story staying with 5 below. 5 below has been really stuck here at the support level. We break above it, it's going to head to 40, then $45. These are great long-term retail trades. All right, UPB here, optionmillionaires.com. If I get into any other trades, I'll let you know at the chat room and private Twitter at optionmillionaires.com. We'll see futures. Let's check out futures again before I head out. Stock futures are off their highs, but still recovering the PMI data, China lows here. Buy the dip. Buy the dip. Worked yesterday until we hit almost new all-time highs and then pull back. We did hit a fresh print new all-time high on the SPY, if that means anything. All right, UPB. Everyone have a great trading day. So long. Goodbye. What's up?